In the left corner, we have the now retired Google Chromecast 4K, fairly okayish device, lots of limitations, lots of annoying things. Everybody was waiting for something new to take over this legacy device. And in the right corner, we now have that new device, the all new Google Streamer 4K, which is now officially released. And is this the successor we were all waiting for? Quick answer is no. So in this video today, let me show you, or let me answer some of those key questions about this new device. Can you enable sideloading? Can you use a third-party launcher? Can you expand the storage? Does it support NTFS? How fast is the Wi-Fi? Does the device come with the HDMI cable? The answer is no. And more importantly, I'll answer that, is this device really worth the upgrade from the Google Chromecast 4K? Or are you better just sticking with your Nvidia Shield or sticking with your on 4K Pros? So let's answer those questions right now. The video may be a little bit long, so go and grab a drink and let's dive right in and answer the first question, which is regarding performance. Well, you can see here, here are the two remote controls side by side. You can see this one is obviously a little bit longer, but it still has that sort of soap bar kind of feel. So it is quite slippery. It's not very grippy and doesn't really have that kind of premium feel to it. But in terms of just native performance compared to the original one, I would say it does feel a little bit more snappier than the original Chromecast 4K. On all of my Google devices, I do normally open up my developer options. As you can see here, inside system, I do change these animation options to off for window animation, off for transition animation, and the duration scale I changed to 0.5, so which does make these devices more snappier. But again, I would say overall it does feel a bit faster, a bit quicker than the older Chromecast 4K. Okay, super basic, brand new device. How much storage do you get out of the box? Well, if I go to the settings, go down into system, go into storage, and we can see out of 32 gig storage, the device does come with 26 gigs available. So really ample storage for all of your streaming applications, your utilities, your games, your all sorts of applications. You'll definitely have enough space with that 26 gig. But because it is Android TV, it is very easy to expand the storage with a simple USB drive. Let's back out of that. Let's talk about some specs and numbers. Well, firstly, lots of people were asking, does this device actually run 64-bit OS? And as you can see here, the device does unfortunately run in 32-bit mode. So if you are looking for a true 64-bit device, maybe to contend with the Nvidia Shield Pro, unfortunately, this is not that device. Now, in terms of actual performance, Elias from AFTV News did a fantastic write-up on this, got some great benchmarks. He's been doing this for over, I think, 9 years of comparing all streaming devices, so you can see exactly how they stack up. And as you can see in the benchmarks here, the new device in terms of raw numbers is a little bit faster than the 4K Fire Stick Max first generation, but falls short of the 4K Max second generation. And in terms of comparing this to the original Chromecast, we can see that's down here. Single core processor score of 896 versus 917. So we could say it's a modest update or a modest upgrade from the previous 4K Chromecast. But again, comparing it in real world usage and real life tests, it does seem more responsive than the original 4K Chromecast. But these are the numbers anyway, if you're looking for pure benchmarks on how this new streamer stacks up against the other current streaming devices. And in terms of GPU benchmarks, we can see it gets 1031, which is slower than the second generation 4K Fire Stick, as well as the Fire Stick Max 1 and second generation. So if you're looking to do some gaming or that kind of activity, unfortunately it does fall short of all of these Fire Sticks. It is faster than the On 4K box as well as the On 4K Pro, both which had really poor scores. So I don't know if something was being throttled or maybe it requires a software update, but we can see those numbers were even lower than that. Now, in terms of audio formats are supported, ZoftOS has done a fantastic write-up on Reddit on the Android TV forums. So using this surround sound system here, he basically tested a bunch of different movies, and you can see some of the results here. So feel free to pause the video so you can see exactly what these results were, if there's anything of interest to you, if you are somebody that takes the audio very seriously. But in a summary, Dolby Digital Plus with Atmos is supported, so is DTS Core, but the Google Streamer does not support pass-through for these other formats. So unfortunately, they are not supported on this new device. I know for lots of you that are very serious about your audio, this is very disappointing. Next up, how fast is the Wi-Fi on this new Google Streamer 4K? Well, big shock, unfortunately, the device does not support Wi-Fi 6, even for a device created in 2024, really disappointing. And we can see the speeds I'm getting there, 390 meg down. I do have a 1 gig connection, so those are not particularly impressive speeds. Let me do that test one more time. Then I will plug in an Ethernet cable so we can do a quick test to see what kind of speeds do we get over Ethernet, as I do believe it's a gigabit connection. Okay, so again, we can see test number 2. We are getting speeds of around about 390 odd meg down. That's working fine. Let me now plug in the Ethernet cable. Now, as you can see, the device only has one Type-C USB port, which is used for the power. You've got your Ethernet port here and HDMI out, but you can plug in a Type-C USB hub, which you can then use to expand the port. So, and you can now see I've got access to multiple USB-A ports. And I've got the power delivery over here. Let's plug in this Ethernet cable. Okay, that's gone in. Let's now do another speed test. And let's see now what kind of speeds we can get over hardwired Ethernet. Okay, fantastic. So definitely we can say with hardwired Ethernet, we do get more or less my top speed available in my house, which is 1 gig. So test number 1, 923 meg down. Let's do that test one more time. And typically a hardwired Ethernet connection will always give you better quality connection, because you're not going to have issues like distance from your router or interference or too many devices causing Wi-Fi congestion. With that hardwired Ethernet connection, you get that solid, reliable, dependable hardwired connection. So definitely if you have that choice, I would always prefer hardwired Ethernet over potentially patchy Wi-Fi. Okay, so test number 2, again, well over 900 meg. So definitely happy with those Ethernet speeds. Let's talk about some customizations and sideloading. So can you sideload on this new device, which is running Android TV 14? Well, yes, you can. All you need to do is just go over to the Play Store, go to apps, and let's search for downloader. Here we are, I can click on that. Let's click on install. That's now installed. Okay, I can open that up. Click on OK. Let's now click here. Let's now quickly navigate to my website, which is 53402, because we actually need to start a download before we'll see the prompt asking you, do you want to give this application permission to download and install applications on your device? So if I just go to downloads for a quick test, any website will do, but let's just do a quick one here. Let's say I want to download remote ADB shell. Let's click on that. Scroll down, and when I click on the download button, this is where I'm hoping I'll see that prompt. Here we go. So for security reasons, you can't install applications from unknown sources. If I click on settings, this now takes me to this hidden menu where I can now turn on this option. I do recommend turning on this option for other apps that you have, maybe third-party applications like APK stores, stuff like that. If you see them in here, just turn them on. And this means when you download any application through those stores or through those applications, you'll be able to install them. Now the downloader is set to allowed. Let's press back. I can now click on install, click on update. And just like that, we've now sideloaded our first third-party application on the new Google Streamer 4K. So next up, can I use a custom launcher on this new Google Streamer 4K? And the quick answer to that is yes. As you can see on my device, I can press the home button. So 3, 2, 1, go. One click, and that takes me to a custom launcher. Fully customizable. I can choose backgrounds, I can customize these tiles, really just get my home screen looking exactly how I like it. Of course, without seeing any of those big Google adverts or Google sponsored applications, I can get this home screen looking exactly like this. I will be doing more detailed videos on this device, how you can customize it, how you can tweak it, how you can change some of these settings, apply custom wallpapers, custom tweaks. So if you're interested in that, make sure you are subscribed with all notifications. But again, short answer is you can very easily use a custom launcher to replace the home screen. And whilst we're in here, can you use the new tdoctoruk DNS switcher and the previous tdoctoruk app killer on this new device? Well, the tdoctoruk app killer, which as I'm sure most of you know, is a great application, allows you to close off all of your background applications with one click. You can make a connection, make sure you've enabled USB debugging in your Google Streamer settings. Once you've done that, I can count my background applications. We have 10 things running in the background. I can set up a whitelist if I want to keep any of those 10 applications running. But in my case, I want to click on full stop all apps. It says 9 applications have been killed, and those applications have now been properly forced stop, which frees up memory, frees up those valuable CPU cycles, and just means your device just responds and performs better. This is available on the Google Play Store, whereas the second application, the tdoctoruk DNS switcher, which I only published a few days ago, this one forces your device to use encrypted DNS, which has the benefit for your privacy, but more importantly, it means you won't see any adverts across any of your third-party streaming applications, even applications like Rumble and a few others. Basically, any application that makes a request to a DNS server to load an advert will now be blocked by those encrypted DNS servers. You don't need to keep an application running in the background, just start it, make your change, and you're good to go. The only issue is on Android 14 right now, this application doesn't work because it requires an extra permission. So I've tested this on my device. You can see on my device, works absolutely fine. I can make that connection, it connects, and I can start using encrypted DNS. But this is because I've added an extra permission to this application. I will be submitting the updated code to Google today. So hopefully in the next 1 or 2 days, this new version will be out on all of your Android 14 devices. It already works absolutely fine on any device below Android 14. Next up, does the Google Streamer 4K support NTFS and or exFAT devices? NTFS unfortunately is not supported. I've tried a few different USB sticks. Every time I plug something in, formatted as NTFS, it just comes up with an error. Now, fortunately, you can use exFAT devices. I know on some of these other devices, which are only limited to FAT32, which has a big limitation where you can't have any file size or any file bigger than 4 gig. Whereas this USB stick here is formatted as exFAT. This was the NTFS one, which didn't work. If I unplug this, I can now plug in this exFAT formatted USB drive, plug that in. I'm hoping I'll be able to access the media on here. Okay, we get the prompt. I can click on cancel. And there you can see the file there. I can open that up. I can scroll down. So I'm browsing the exFAT formatted USB drive. And here we see at the bottom, the fact that we can see this file, which is 5.65 gig in size, just proves that we are definitely reading files larger than 4 gigs. So if you do have your movie library on an external exFAT formatted drive or USB drive, you'll be able to access all of the content in here and play that content without any issue whatsoever. Next up, does the device support popular UK streaming apps like the iPlayer and Channel 4 and some of the other ones? Well, as you can see here, directly on the Play Store, you do get that message telling you that unfortunately iPlayer is not supported, and it's the same message for Channel 4. Now, fortunately, I do have special versions of both these applications, which I will leave in the video description and pinned comment. But we can see on my device, I've actually sideloaded both those, the iPlayer and this one, and both work absolutely fine. Next up, how does the Find My Remote feature work on this new device? Well, fortunately, it works really easy. As you can see here on the back of the device, you do have this small button, which is just here. So if I press that, we can see that then just starts beeping on the remote control. So a great way for you to quickly find your remote control. If it's gone behind the sofa, or if the dog has run away with it, this will be a great way for you to quickly find exactly where that remote control is. Next up, can you use a custom screensaver on this new Google Streamer 4K? Well, unfortunately, it does seem like out of the box, all new Android TV devices, Google are just forcing you to use their built-in Daydream, maybe because they want to show you adverts or sponsored content. So natively, there's no easy way of changing that. But I'm actually working on a new application which will allow you to change your current screensaver to anything that you like. And I'm hoping in the next 10 seconds or so, as you can see, they're right on cue. I am using a custom screensaver now on this brand new Google Streamer. And that just proves that it does work absolutely fine. So hopefully this new application, this new screensaver manager specifically for Android TV devices, should be out in the next week or so. I do want to double check and make sure it works on all devices. Definitely works on 4K Pro. As you can see here, it definitely works on this Google Streamer 4K. It just allows you to have these beautiful video wallpapers or really any custom screensaver that you like. Let's back out of that. And lastly, can you play some retro games on this Google Streamer 4K? And the answer is yes, with fairly modest performance. And I think I'm going to wrap up the video now because I'm sure it's already too long and I'm sure I've answered lots of questions, but I'm even more sure that there's lots of questions still left to answer. So do leave me a comment below if there are any other questions or any other things that you want me to test out on this device. I do plan to make more videos, maybe do some side-by-side comparisons of this device versus the On 4K Pro or this device versus the Nvidia Shield Pro. Do leave me a comment below, let me know which comparison you want to see first. But overall, guys, I would say I'm disappointed with this device. Probably because at the price point of £100 or $100, I really was hoping for better performance. We saw some of those limitations with those audio pass-through codecs. Lots of people are going to be very disappointed with that. And we saw the CPU benchmarks are also very unimpressive, even though, again, the device does feel fairly responsive. In terms of raw CPU power, it's only, I think, 5 or 10% faster than the previous generation. On the plus side, you do get 32 gig storage, you do get the 4 gigs RAM, and you do get that hardwired Ethernet. And so if you're looking for an Android TV device which has hardwired Ethernet, does have a good amount of RAM, is more powerful than the previous Chromecast, and the On 4K Pro is not available for you, then I do think this device is worthwhile checking out. Lots of people would say that the On 4K Pro at half the price is just a much better deal. And I definitely can see that point. It's just that the On 4K Pro is not available outside USA, whereas this device you can pick up in most parts of the world. So really appreciate your support. Do leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do leave me a comment below. Let me know if there's any other questions that you want answered. And I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.